Good morning. Today we're going to talk about IEPs and everything that goes into them. The first thing is, what is an IEP? An IEP is an abbreviation for an individual educational plan. Basically, an IEP is a plan that's made specifically for an individual child that is geared towards them to help them with their educational goals. We go over there's a bunch of different aspects of an IEP. And the reason it's individualized is because it's made just for that student. No two IEPs is ever going to be the same. A student can be classified for an IEP or for special ed under there's a total of 13 different categories. There's autism, blindness, deafness, emotional disturbance, intellectual disability, which used to be called mental retardation, multiple disabilities, orthopedic impairment, specific learning disability like dyslexia, visual impairment. Some kids only have one for speech and language impairment. We also have other health impairment, visual impairment, and in some cases, traumatic brain injury. The first thing to get started with this process is for a referral to be made, for a student to be evaluated. So a parent can request in written form for their child to be evaluated to see if they qualify for special ed services. It can also be done within the school, different interventions with the MTSS process. And if students are moving through the process of interventions and we're not seeing any progress or there's something going on, the school can also go to you as the parent and ask, here's what we've done. We would like to possibly test your child for special ed. Maybe they need additional help, resources, and interventions. Once that written consent has been signed by the parent or guardian, the school has 45 to 60 days to get that child assessed. The child is assessed by a special education teacher. The school nurse also goes over and checks different health things. They go get a hold of you, the parent, and check, are there any health concerns? Were they born? Were there any complications when they were born with deliveries, stuff like that? Also, the school psychologist will do different assessments and evaluations to help determine whether that child will qualify for under one of those disability categories. Once the school psychologist has done that, they send the report to the special education teacher. The special education takes the assessments that they have done and the information from the classroom teacher. They put it together and have a meeting with the parent to go over all the assessments, whether the evaluation shows that a child falls under a certain disability category, what services may be provided, and if a student is found eligible and everyone on the team agrees, special education teacher, general education teacher, and the parent, which is the most important, then an IEP is done and put into place. The IEP has about 5 main components to it. The first one is the present level of performance. Where's the child now? Where are they academically? What are they capable? What are they doing now? What is the concern for the IEP? The second component is setting the goals. The goals is where we talk about what we want the student to work towards. Is it working towards certain sounds, if it's a speech? Is it recognizing certain, CVC words, consonant, vowel, consonant, whatever the goal is. And then services. What kind of services does the child need for their instruction? Will they be receiving instruction in a special ed classroom? Will they be receiving push-in from a special ed teacher in their own classroom, or a combination of both? Sometimes a student will need to be in what's called a self-contained class, depending on what the disability category is. In that situation, the teacher is also the case manager, the special ed teacher, and they are working on goals throughout the whole day. That's also what we call a least restrictive environment. Some students will need to be in a self-contained classroom, which is the least restrictive for them. Least restrictive could be 30 minutes a week in a special ed classroom for services. And then accommodations, anything that will support the student. Do they need breaks? Do they need longer time to take tests? Anything that helps them become successful. The parent is a key proponent to the team. The parent knows the child the best. So parent involvement is huge with students who are in special ed services. Everyone works as a team. There used to be a stigma. Now there's not. We want to make sure that students are receiving what is appropriate for them, what's going to help them be successful. I hope this answers all your questions, and have a great day.